Again, time to complicate the channel with yet another of my hobbies. So, I have not done any astrophotography to speak of for a while, but I've been conned into going to camp at a dark sky site. Not because it's a dark sky site, but it just happens to be one. And I've had this mount for, I don't know, 10 years. Hasn't had much use. I bought it from a guy who was kind of unfortunate. He bought this brand new, and 15 years ago or so. He paid top dollar, I don't know, probably $1,500 Australian or something back then. I think they're around 2,000. Could look, but anyway, now. And he tried to use it and he couldn't get it to work. Thought it was something he was doing wrong. But it turns out that the firmware on the controller for this had an error in it. So I bought it off him for $500 a long time ago, and I did use it a little bit. But a friend in the astronomy club I'm in, thanks Joe, knew about the fact that it was a problem with the firmware. So what happened was, you have this mount, hang on, I'll set this up. So yes, it sits up like this. And what you have to do is you have to point this axis here, which is called the right ascension, directly at the celestial pole. That's the point in the sky that the sky rotates around. And there is a big tab here saying N, because this is designed primarily Europe, America, is where people use it. And in that case, you look to the north for your celestial pole. There's the pole star, Polaris there. But in the southern hemisphere, we have to look the opposite direction, which means that in the southern hemisphere, if you point this directly at the celestial pole, and then you turn this at the rate that the sky, if you turn this, if you turn this at the rate that the sky moves, it'll follow the sky. But in the northern hemisphere, the sky rotates, I'm sort of pointing north now, sky rotates around anti-clockwise. But if you're looking south, the sky rotates clockwise. This mount has to rotate on this axis in the opposite direction when you're in the southern hemisphere, and they hadn't put that into the firmware. So you put your GPS position in, and it's supposed to happily, move around and follow the sky. But it went the wrong way for him, and he tried and tried and tried. He didn't really understand what he's doing, so he got so fed up with it that he just sold it after it sat in his room, for his spare room, for decades. Or no, decades. For years, not decades. Anyway, so I picked it up. And it's a much more portable mount than my main telescope that I've got in my observatory. My observatory being a roll-off roof observatory there. That roof on it rolls open. But I haven't used that observatory much at all in the last while, and I might have a bit more time on my hands now, because I think I've retired as of yesterday. So, if I'm going out to a dark sky site, I could just take a tripod, and I've got a modified DSLR Canon 450D that sees down in the hydrogen alpha, or down in the infrared. Had a filter taken out of it. But you can use these. You make up a mount that goes into here. There's a dovetail set up here. And you put a plate on, and you put your camera on it, and guide scope. Because with these things have got go-to controls on them, so you can, once you've got them coordinated and calibrated with the sky, you can put in a target you want to go to and it'll drive to it. And once you get onto it, you can control this via computer, and you can get it so that it continually takes photos with a second camera, and have it so that it adjusts if there's any drift, if you're misaligned with the sky. So I think I will have a crack. I'll pull this out, finish setting it up, and see if I can get it so I can mount the camera and a guide scope and guide camera on there and get it talking. I've got a little microcomputer, a Raspberry Pi, they're called, with an operating system called Astroberry, which uses the Indie package, which is a professional but open source observatory control setup. So I've got that all installed on it, and I'll see if I can get Indie talking to this, get the mount running, get the camera talking, and if I can get it all running, I might just chuck it in and take it with me when I go out to this dark sky. So let's see how it goes. I've been busy making a mess. So I've got an old computer here, and I've started sending my gear. That's my guide scope, and this is a guide camera for doing auto guiding with the whole unit. There's my DSLR charging a battery up. I've got a bit of a network set up here, but I just today got this little thing. It was $30 plus $12 delivery, so 30% of the cost. But this replaces the hand controller. I think that it's set up so you can plug into this port here as well on the guide camera, on the hand controller. But so I have here my direct connection where the hand controller would be, down through this cable, and that is connected over here. This is a Raspberry Pi computer, so it's just the size of my hand. It's just a little microcomputer. Pardon the mess, but I'm just trying to get everything to work at the moment. I'll worry about how to get it all neat. But that is now, this is a little Linux computer. It's got Astroberry, which is for those that care, it's a Debian install, but it's customized for astronomy. And I have that runs well, yeah, it gets all a bit technical, but you can connect to it just directly from the computer. So this is connected to the telescope, and I can control the telescope with this controller, and it just talks directly to it. But not only that, I'm connected via LAN cable at the moment, but I can get this page up on a tablet. So the idea is that I will have the Raspberry Pi mounted over on this, and I can connect via Bluetooth to the by wireless to the Raspberry Pi sitting here, control it all from a tablet computer, and I've got a keyboard and a mouse for that. And yeah, I can run this off a battery. I've got a 12-volt power supply down here, but I can put a battery on it. I've got a battery, and once this starts, it'll start tracking. So I might end up not using this because it's a bit it's a bit much, but maybe I'll put together a better summary. Anyway, that's where I got to.